Greetings, mortals. It is I, Carmine Phlegathon, the most cursed and powerful of all VTubers, he who is cursed under the red moon of fate, and he who wields a demon within his right arm. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody, welcome, welcome. I'm sorry I was late. I was, in fact, gaming. And I lost track of time, and I had to get the stream up real quick. So I'm sorry for the delay. It's the curse. It's the curse of being a gamer. You lose track of time. Which game though? Oh, now this is a question, Mario. This is a juicy question. You sure you want to dig into this little information nugget so early into the stream? We've got so much we've got so much runway, so much space. You want to? Okay. I'll talk about it if you want. Welcome, Mario Rusty Penguin. Welcome, Mithril Diggy. And cheers indeed. Cheers. So, the game. Oh man, I don't know how annoying this will be. This might be annoying. Is it annoying if I gush about a video game that I'm not currently playing, and will not stream? Maybe. We'll see. Welcome, Vivuvre. Welcome. I was playing Kuro no Kiseki, the latest Trails game that has not even been announced for an English release, but most likely will not come out in English until at least 2024. That's what I was playing. And so far, it's real good. It's a real good game. I mean, it's a Trails game. They're all good. So, it's not like that was going to be bad, but in Japanese, no. In English. I'm not one of those talented VTubers that can speak Japanese. So what I did, right, was I woke up from the after the last stream, I collapsed in bed and I slept. I slept for a good while, and then I awoke, and I heard the news. The Zero Field translation of Kuro no Kiseki had come out early. And I knew what I was going to do today, Ferb. So I booted up the PlayStation 4, and I looked up video tutorials for how to make a Japanese PlayStation Network account. And then I made one, and then I'm like, alright, now how do I buy video games on this? And I had to look up that, and it turns out that you can't use any sort of you basically have to use the like gift cards. You have to use gift cards instead of like paying over a card or PayPal or anything like that. So I bought a gift card code at a markup from an online retailer at considerable cost. And use that, which let me buy the game. And then I had to download PlayStation Remote Play onto my computer, and then hook that up to the PlayStation 4, so that I would be streaming the game over the internet onto my computer, because I don't have a capture card. And also, even if I did have a capture card, I can't set up the PS4. Like, it's a different room. So I have. So I guess now I'm a cloud gamer. I have become what I most fear and hate. Only the cloud is also my PlayStation 4. And so I streamed that onto my PC. Now, why did I stream it onto my PC? Because the spreadsheet translation that has been completed also comes with an overlay program that if you launch the PlayStation Remote Play, and then you open up the overlay program will come up on top of it, and it'll have the translation. And when you press X on your controller, when you press X or cross on your controller, it moves the text forward in the game, and also in the non-game, in the overlay. So it's pretty much seamless. I still got to manually move the text forward whenever there's a cutscene or something. And obviously it's a video game, so there's a bit of navigation around, like talking to NPCs and stuff like that. Like they're in the spreadsheet sometimes, and I gotta like advance around them. And then there's no translations for the combat, but yeah. This is as full weeb as I ever go. Welcome, Sorashu. Welcome. This is like the most effort I've ever gone to play a video game in a language I can understand. And that really kind of indicates how much the Trail series is like my sort of favorite, like one of my favorite game series ever. Because I can't wait. I can't wait. I literally could not wait. So you're welcome, Falcom. I bought your game in a language I can't understand, and I'm still gonna have to buy it again in English for the English dub. So you get paid twice. You get the Square Enix treatment where I give you way too much of my money. But yeah, that was what I did. It took like it took a couple of hours. I've only been playing it for like 2 hours. Like 2.5 hours, so like barely in the prologue, because I had to spend a lot of hours. First of all, I slept for a lot. Maybe too much. But it took a couple hours to set the whole thing up, because I kept going back and forth between the PlayStation room and where my computer's set up. And I had to, keep going back and forth. And I looked up video tutorials on my phone. I took photos of codes. Listen, I'm a very lazy person. But yeah, speaking of that effort on MMOs, that's one of the few big reasons whenever I'm like taken with the urge of like, I want to start playing Final Fantasy XI. Now it's like, but it's so hard. It's so hard to do that. It's so hard to do that. There's going to be a League of Legends MMO. Why? What could that possibly offer? Then again, I've never played League. So maybe there's good stuff in there that can only be expressed in multiplayer format. But like a lot of MMOs have that kind of sort of difficulty to get into. But doing all that effort to socialize, not for me. I do all that effort for a single player video game. Because that's how I roll. Oh, Vivuvre, you've never played an MMO before. Well then. Well, have you heard the good word of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn? Now with unlimited free trial up to level 60, including the Heavenswood expansion. The award-winning Heavenswood expansion. This is a highly acclaimed MMO. I'm not like those. Listen. Ignore the ERPers, for God's sake. Ignore the ERPers, please. Just do research into your servers, and like also ignore the ERPers. Just don't listen to people talking. Play it alone, like I do. Listen, FF14. I'm not like those other FF14 peddlers. I'm not like those other FF14 peddlers. I use FF14 as the gateway drug to Final Fantasy. It's the gateway drug to Final Fantasy. People are gonna see the Phantom Train, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, there's a Ghost Train." I'm gonna be like, "Yes, play Final Fantasy VI." See, I've never been to Balmung. Problem solved. Literally, I don't play with people in MMO. Like, the one MMO that I've put any significant amount of time into is Final Fantasy XIV, and that's because it is very accomplishable single player. For me to play an MMO with actual, like, people on it, like, that you have to collaborate with, would require... It would require an army of followers to get people to play with me. Yeah, I don't want to know, Mithril Diggy. I don't want to know. That's a part of the internet I have no interest in. No thank you. I mean, you can play with people in FF14 Viva. You can do that. You can just like if you've already got friends who are like playing it, then you can just like play the game with them, which is nice. And you gotta start now. You gotta start now. There's no better time to start than now because with 14 there's way too much content, so you'll be playing for a while. Well, okay, Mithril Diggy, there's no way to help you. Listen, if you already know the forbidden knowledge, then all you can do is not share it, and then also maybe hit your own head with a shovel several times to try and knock the memories out. They're all extremely high level doing new endgame content. Yeah, cause you have to be if you want to hang out. Like, they'll listen, if they're your friends though, like they'll hang out with you on the like they can level a lower level job and chill with you in the earlier content. They still have the access to that. It's no problem. But yeah, I'm not really an MMO expert. I don't have the wisdom. Why would you feel embarrassed? Why would you feel embarrassed? There is nothing, there is literally nothing. Listen, I've played the game. I've played the, oh my god. That's disgusting. I've never actually seen FF14's level syncing, Mithril D. I don't know how it works. Okay, so first off, there's no fundamental difference between a level 80 player and a level 1 player in terms of skill. There are plenty of people who get right up to the end of the game who don't know jack about playing the game. They don't know their rotation. They don't know anything about mechanics. I am one of these people. Please do not party up with me. You will spend all of your time healing me. If you're a healer, and if you're like listen, what I'm saying is I'm useless. But the point is that competence is not at all correlated to level. Also, that bit about being flooded with ERP requests that's terrible. That's horrible. Have you considered playing? Oh wait, no, God. Is there anything that Final Fantasy XIV players won't get with? Is there anything that Final Fantasy XIV players won't get with? Because, like, I was gonna say play like a big Rogadin, maybe, but no. Hrothgar, no. Lalafell, no. Yeah, I fear Final Fantasy XIV ERPers. There's no job race combo is safe. Welcome, Undead B-Man. Welcome. Make big number smaller, that number being the enemy's health bar. Correct! Unless you're a healer, in which you make small number bigger, and that number being your allies' health bars. Oh no, Mithril Diggy, that you can sync. You are like automatically level synced for content that you're doing like synced, but you can't sync in the field. It's just dungeons and raids and stuff like that. Yeah, because I'm not a social animal, I'm not really accustomed to the to any sort of memes about like who populates what data centers and stuff like that. I just play game. I'm not a people person. The only friends I have in Final Fantasy XIV are the story NPCs. They're my friends. Silence of the Seventh Dawn. That's the classic JRPG friends vibe that game provides. But of course, it is no match for Trails. Wow. Hit enemy with big heavy until enemy fills potholes in road. Now that, I don't know what that means. I do just play a game. That's what I do. I'm a game player. I'm a gamer. I game. What is there for the life of a gamer but to game? Game! And game some more. There is no other path. Cross-server character teleports, well, they are working on that. But it's fundamentally different from, I believe it's fundamentally different from, whatchamacallit. But you should still, it's not like a... You can still play while they're still working on it. You can still play when they're still working on it, right? Do some leveling. Grab big enemy, grab big heavy weapon, hit enemy, fill pothole, success, repeat. Are you, okay, see, here's the part where you lose me. Are you filling the pothole with the enemy? How are you, if the weapon is both big and heavy, how are you hitting them effectively with it when you're also grabbing them? Like, if it was a small weapon, I could understand, but like, imagine the Buster Sword, right? And imagine Cloud Strife has grabbed somebody by the scruff of the neck with his left hand, and he has the Buster Sword in his right hand. He tries to swing the Buster Sword down. The leverage is all wrong, you see? You can't bring the weight down. No, it's not about, it doesn't matter if it's a sword. That's an example. You could, I know, I'm talking, like a club. You imagine he's holding a big club. It's still not gonna, like, the weight is gonna be on the end. Like, that's where the leverage is, like, physics. I'm telling you, that's not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to deliver the maximum bonkage. If you're grabbing him, you gotta not grab him and do a two-handed swing. I'm just saying, your method's inefficient. Executive dysfunction. Carmine, what's the worst game I've played both by taste and technical quality? You literally specified big, Undead B-Man. You specified big weapon. What is the worst game I've ever played? I don't know what... I mean... It's probably got to be Final Fantasies 15 or 13. It's got to be Final Fantasy 15 or 13. Listen, Undead B-Man, either it's small or it's big. If it's small, it's not big. If it's big, you can't hit someone with it if you're grabbing them. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. Like, the thing is, I don't typically play bad games, because I'm a gamer. I'm a bit of a gamer. And I only play good games, because all the games that I play are good. So I haven't really played that many bad games, especially not to completion, to fully sort of understand them. Well, what would you suggest, Mithril Diggy? What's a bad game in your mind? Because, like, if it's a bad game, I probably haven't played it. Final Fantasy 13 and 15 are both terrible games that I can, and I, as a FF fan, can fully appreciate their terribleness. If there's sort of like joke bad game that's made to be a bad game, I probably haven't played it. Like, even in terms of like shovelware or like sort of like low budget video games. Yeah, I haven't played stuff like that. PS2 Cars Re for the Nintendo DS. You know, the only tie-in video game, the only like movie tie-in video game I ever played was Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe for PS2, and that game was honestly not that bad. It was like the Return of the King games, like the Two Towers and Return of the King games on PlayStation 2, but you know, Narnia. Well, yeah, I guess. In terms of poor technical features and malfunctions, I can't help you there. Because, like, you can know, like, we live in a world where the internet exists. You, like, you know that, like, you cannot ever be truly surprised by a video game. The only way you would encounter a new, like a bad video game, is if you bought a game at release and it turned out to be bad, but my senses are so good, that'll never happen to me. The original Ratchet and Clanks then, they felt so bad to play. Yeah, no, I'm with Mario in this one, Undead B-Man. I'm sorry, you're just wrong. OG Ratchet and Clank is like, I mean, maybe a little rough around the edges, but it's great. It's fun to play. Are you kidding me? The platforming sucks. Aww. What's the matter? You can't 3D platform in Ratchet and Clank? Weak. Weak. Nah. Ratchet and Clank, listen, Ratchet and Clank has a solid formula. It doesn't matter if you're playing original Ratchet and Clank, Tools of Destruction, or what's the one that I played a bunch on the PlayStation 3 that is the one that I'm most familiar with? I always forget the titles. Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, Tools of Destruction. Tools of Destruction. Tools of Destruction. Jak and Daxter, I mean, Jak and Daxter is a series, like, I haven't played enough Jak and Daxter. Listen. I haven't played much Jak and Daxter, but Jak and Daxter seems to me a series that has a massive identity issue compared to Ratchet and Clank, which sticks with one thing, that it knows what works, and it, like, keeps with that, with the new installments. And Jak and Daxter went from in the span of 3 games, went from like a 3D platforming game to dune buggies and city, like, Grand Theft Auto style nonsense, and guns, lots and lots of guns. They added guns. It's a lot less consistent. It's a lot less consistent. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I'm also saying that that Ratchet and Clank is like a sort of comfortable, reliable friend. Ratchet and Clank is shaped like a friend. Anyhow, I'm much more experienced with Ratchet and Clank, and oh my god, we're talking about classic PlayStation series. How fantastic. Shaped. Am I shaped? In general, or like a friend? Because I am shaped like a friend. Is shaped slang for something? I'm not familiar with that. But can we talk about Sly Cooper as well? Sly Cooper? Has anybody played the Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, or the other Sly Trilogy games? Because that's a series that, like, did a sort of Jak thing, where the gameplay sort of altered in the later ones, and it worked really well. Sly 2 is such a fantastic game. They're not furry games! They're not furry games! I'm not attracted to any of the characters. It's a fun, listen, it's fun cartoon animal mishaps and hijinks. They're fun cartoon animals. You're allowed to like fun cartoon animals. Or are you seriously gonna tell me that none of you like Looney Tunes? Isn't there a meme about this? I wouldn't know. Sly Cooper was good, but I only played 1, 2. I mean, though, like, you're pretty much well set. 3 is just kind of 2 with a bit more, with more gimmicks. 2 is the best one. The demo that was in Ratchet and Clank 3 a lot. Oh, Mario, I remember the exact demo you're talking about, because that was the demo that I played at After School Care. Oh, man. Yeah, because we had, because after school on Thursdays, I wouldn't be able to go home, so I had to go to a place for, you know, after school care, like where I'd hang out with a bunch of other kids, and there was a basketball court, an indoor basketball court, and also like some other stuff set up, and there was 2 gaming consoles, and there was a PlayStation 2, and I think they were both PS2s. Either way, but like I played a bunch of games on those. They had Ratchet and Clank 3, and that's where we played that's where I played, because there was no memory card. Nobody had any memory cards, so we always had to start the games from the beginning. So I managed to play the Sly 2 demo, and that was really fun. Love that demo. But also, Sonic Heroes and Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, which is a very special game to me because I loved it so much playing it. Like we kept going. We kept every Thursday, right? Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Let's play it. 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 Let's go through the story mode. We go through the hero story, and we go through all the way through to the end. By the time we get to the final level and beat that, it's time for me to go home. And I never see the other side of the story, the Babylon Rogue side of the story, until I beg my mum to buy it for me. And I get it, and I play it at home with a memory card, and hoo boy, yes. Sonic, I just really like Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. It was very exciting. You're too young to have experienced the PS2. What was different from today other than things being low poly back then? Are you... Vivuvre, are you allowed to be sort of out and about? Aren't you sort of like too young to have experienced the PS2? That would mean you're a child, surely. A very small child. You're not an adult! Don't say you're an adult! Don't say you're an adult! You can't be! I'm not that into adulthood myself. I'm old enough to have played PlayStation 1. What? Someone who started gaming after the PlayStation 2. I don't... Redunculous. Yeah, 2006, which was, in fact, only like 15 years ago. The PS3 was about 2 years out then. With no games! With no games! What are you talking about? No one gets consoles at launch if they have any sense. I didn't get a PlayStation 3 until like 2010. Or something like that, because it came, which I've only learned later, we got it as a Christmas present and it came with 3 games, but apparently we only got it because it came with a fridge that my mother was purchasing. And I had Ratchet and Clank, and I had the Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction, and then my big brother's got a COD game and Metal Gear Solid 4, and I played them all. Yeah, I've still got my PlayStation 3, still good stuff, but like, the PlayStation 2 is... The PlayStation 2 has so many good games, though. It's got so many good games, that PlayStation 2. I have played so many good PlayStation 2 games, for sure. Final Fantasy X, Dirge of Cerberus, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Jack and Daxter, I haven't played that one, but it's good. It was there for it, and it was good. Ratchet and Clank, etc. That age of gaming will never return to us. What is there now for the PlayStation 5? What? Tell me. Tell me of the PlayStation 5's library of exclusives, and you shall find it wanting. But yeah, in Vivuvre, to answer your initial question, what was different than from today, other than things being low poly back then? The answer is that it was good gaming times, good gaming times, and there wasn't, and because you couldn't you make graphics super realistic. People had to settle for stylization of graphics, which results in a timeless look, for stuff like Jet Set Radio or Wind Waker. GBA, PSP, DS also shine. Oh, too true. Love the DS. The DS has one of the best libraries. PS1 was great, but goddamn trying to buy titles hurts. How so? I actually didn't have I never experienced buying a PlayStation 1 game, even though my first game was a PS1 game. We just had the PlayStation 1 for a little bit before we got the PlayStation 2 when I was really little. Oh, like The World Ends With You. Yes, Vivuvre! The best video game ever made, The World Ends With You original, came out on the Nintendo DS. Very astute. Literally the best game ever created by human hands is on the DS. Yes, it's my all-time favorite game. It's really good. I'm very glad it got a very excellent sequel in the form of Neo. All those years later, and the people who created it still got it. Good games disappeared all the time. Oh no, that sounds terrible. Now that I'm playing PlayStation 1 games on stream with Castlevania Symphony of the Night, I'm interested in diving into more of the PS1's library, because playing emulating PS1 games with the PS3, that I did a lot of that as a kid when we had the PS3, and it really sort of made me think about how good the library of the PlayStation 1 was. There's all sorts of good games we could play. Do I accept suggestions for games to play? For games to play, of course I accept suggestions. Of course I accept suggestions. Are you kidding me? Absolutely I accept suggestions. Addicted to the Castlevania soundtrack. Well, Symphony of the Night's got a real good soundtrack. For sure. Nope. We're not playing Medieval. I've played Medieval. I've played it as a small child on the PlayStation 1 and 3. No. It's too scary. 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 I understand that it's amazing. I'm a big fan of Sir Daniel Fortescue. In concept, I appreciate the game very much. But it's too scary. I played it, Mario. I know what's what. Castlevania Symphony of the Night isn't scary because it's 2D. It's hard for 2D to be scary. Medieval's scary. That's a fact. I'd love to show you guys, in terms of PlayStation 1 games, I was thinking more I'd mentioned Suikoden in the Castlevania stream. I'd love to try Suikoden out. We could play Metal Gear Solid 1 finally, for example. Vagrant Story. Vagrant Story. Good. Vagrant Story is good stuff. What else is on the PlayStation 1? Medieval, scary. A lot of it is pretty toony, so I'm curious as to what throws you on its visuals. I'm not saying the visuals are scary, I'm just saying the game is scary. I'm saying that the game is scary. I trust my childhood memories. I know them to be accurate. It's not scary in the... It's not scary in terms of, It's not scary in terms of visuals, and it's not scary in, the in-between levels, right? It's not scary in the in-between levels. Where you're not, where you're speaking with ghosts and stuff, and, the legend people. Will I touch Threads of Fate? Yes. I'm interested in streaming Threads of Fate. I always forget the name of it, but it does seem like it's very interesting. Because it's made by Square. Resident Evil? No, not on your life. No Resident Evil and no Silent Hill. Neither of those. No touch. No touch those games. Let me just search. What games are on the PlayStation 1? Oh, there's also Crash Bandicoot, but... Mega Man Legends? Oh, is that on the PS1? We might give that a try. I'm not into Mega Man, so maybe that'll get me into it. Spyro the Dragon's very good. That's a fact. Of course, that has the fancy remasters now. It's interesting what comes up when you just Google PlayStation 1 games. Driver, Parappa the Rapper, Tekken 3. Oh, I've got a lot of memories of Tekken 3. My big bros always used to beat little Carmine at Tekken 3. They used to destroy me at Tekken 3. And now I am the one who destroys at Tekken. I acquired skill, and now they dare not face me on the field of battle because I'll just destroy them with Asuka. I'd never heard of Tomba. Interesting. I'm mostly an RPG man. But a good platformer is a good platformer. Oh, look at that, yeah, Chrono Cross. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is something we might try. Oh, The Legend of Dragoon would be so good to go through. Oh, Tenchu's, yeah, Tenchu. Spider-Man! Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro is where my experience lies. So many games. Siphon Filter. Parasite Eve seems way too scary, unfortunately. I've played a bit of Abe's Odyssey before, Mario. It's not my kind of game. Dragoon is solid. Let's file. Okay, I found a page by Games Radar listing the 25 best PlayStation 1 games. Let's see what they got there. Yep, they got Street Fighter Alpha 3. They got Tenchu. They got Spider-Man. They got Iron Hander. They got Ridge Racer. FF Tactics. Twisted Metal 2. Time Crisis. Driver. Vagrant Story is on there. Excellent. Spyro the Dragon, Tomb Raider, Oddworld, Wipeout, Parappa the Rapper, Silent Hill, Crash 3, Tekken 3. FF7, Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid. Yep. Oh man, just such a good library. Such a good library. PlayStation used to be the place to be, man. It was the place to be for gaming. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm experiencing now, right, what Nintendo's had all this time in the form of Legend of Zelda. And I won't deny that that's pretty sweet. But, I mean, Zelda alone cannot compete with Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy VII. On the set being on the same console. It just can't. No. Yeah, there's so many games. I've been streaming as a VTuber for a year, but it feels like I've played not enough games. There's just too many games to play. What about Paper Mario? Well, if I was to play a Mario game of an RPG nature at all, I'd like to try the Super Mario RPG. But I'm not sure I trust that mustachioed plumber in his wacky antics. Least of all when they're made of paper. Not sure I can trust him. I mean, what's he hiding beneath that cap of his? I actually like, because of my lack of Nintendo, the first Mario game I beat was Mario Odyssey on a Switch that I borrowed, and it's pretty fun. Bing Bing Wahoo Man is pretty fun. He's pretty okay. It's not bad. But I'm not sure I want to go down the whole rabbit hole for such a character. Speaking of game series, though, I recently beat Ace Attorney, the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, which means that there is now not a single released Ace Attorney game that I haven't played all the way through. And I have one thing to say to Capcom. Please make more. What are you doing? You haven't released one since 2017. It's been 5 years. This is the biggest gap in the series history of no games. Why? 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 I'll take spin-offs. I'll take anything. Ace Attorney Investigations 3, please. Welcome, welcome, more they do. Hi there, long-time lurker, first-time chatter. My question is, how come you're up so late? I'm not up so late. You're up so late. What are you talking about? Hmm? Hmm? It's always party time in hell. There is no up so late. What a silly question. Did you mean to ask this of another VTuber? One who is shackled to the wheel of time. Like a fool. Ace Attorney is very good. There isn't enough, there is unfortunately like not enough of that genre of gaming. I've always wanted to like make something like that, or Danganronpa, or Your Turn to Die. That kind of stuff is very good. I like adventure games in that sort of vein of adventure games, where there's like, where instead of point and click adventure games, like there's a big focus on narrative, and of like moving the story forward at key points with your own deductions and observations. They're fun games, it's a fun genre, I just can't stream any of them. Because A, played them all. B, not good genre for streaming. It is like there, like in terms of finding games to stream, there's also the you know, whatchamacallit, consideration of genre. That was the big thing. When I started streaming, I was like, I have some games to play. I don't really have, but then I had like no more games to play after that initial couple, because my Steam library was just, first of all, it was mostly full of games that I had played and beaten, because I didn't do the thing of like buying a whole bunch of games on sale, which is something that I've started to do as a VTuber. So now we do have some options. And like a lot of the stuff in my library was not kind of suitable for streaming. I'm talking a lot of you know, Danganronpa, a lot of long JRPGs, stuff like that. Stuff with a big focus on narrative. And like that, the thing is, like, I love in games a really heavy focus on narrative. I love games as storytelling devices, but also I like talking to chat, and that's a lot easier to do. And hanging out is a lot easier to do in a game where there's like lots of gameplay spaces and not too many big talky sections. And a game like Ace Attorney is pretty much entirely talky sections, so that would be impossible with my streaming style. Like impossible to stream. I'd have to like voice every line. But yeah, there's not that many action games that I haven't played. Well, there probably are. Carmine VA stream? I mean, I've done reading streams before. I've done reading streams before of Sherlock Holmes, funnily enough, but I can't do a VA stream because I can't do different voices. Here, watch. This is my voice.
This is also my voice.
This is also my voice. You see, it all sounds like me. Because I can't sound like anything different from myself. You know? I don't know how to VA. Welcome, welcome, Congo VT. Welcome, welcome. That isn't bad, actually.
It shall be bad if I say it is bad. I'm the final word, I say. I say... I say... By Jove, I'm the final word on what is not good and such forth when it comes to my own performance. Say what? Do a Congo impression. I have no idea about the accent. The only thing I'm really messing with is, like, consciously is the pitch, I think. Do a Congo impression. It'll be bad, though. It'll be bad, though, if I do that. I don't want it to be bad. It'd go something a little like, Greetings, Kondeshi.
You understand. You understand. See, there's something to it. There's something to it. I can't imitate people. While I myself cannot be imitated, I can't imitate people. Well, a lot of your specific speaking style, Congo VT, I feel is like more the intonation. It's more in the intonation than the depth.
Being a really low, deep voice.
But also, that was pretty much the deepest voice I could manage. Like, I can't go much deeper than that. I have a very bad range. I am bad at making my voice go low. I used to be able to sing soprano, and then my voice broke, and now I can't even like go all the way down. It sucks. My range is terrible, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. No.
Those are but a few of my woes.
You know, I only just thought of this, but woes is probably a really good rhyme for rose. Now, if only I could make that work in a line. I feel like I've stunned myself into silence by how dumb I'm being. But yeah, basically, in terms of dramatic readings, the Sherlock Holmes story readings are fun. So I'd always like to do more of those if I just sort of like this could have been one instead of a chatting stream. But then I also enjoy like chatting with y'all instead of just reading to y'all. It's a very different kind of performative act, I think. Doing a dramatic reading. Because you're not interacting with the audience as much. And interacting is a big thing, it's a big part of streaming. I wouldn't be nearly as entertaining if I didn't have a chat, because I'm a hack fraud that requires chat to provide me with conversation topics for me to bounce off of and give my thoughts on. Being directionless is interesting because, like a real conversation, the flow of this chatting stream has gone in several directions, on several different topics, and I have had like it has been interesting. Like we're like an hour into like just me talking with you guys, and we've already covered like a whole range of interesting stuff. From
from MMOs to from MMOs to me being like putting in a lot of effort to play a game that's in Japanese so that I could play the English translation, to the libraries of different games, sort of. I mean, I guess the common thread of the Zatsudan this time around has been video games, but you can't really say that that's a common thread of the Zatsudan, because that's just a common thread of my identity. I wouldn't know what to talk about. Like, if you were to ban a topic, right? If there was to be, like, I don't know, a Batsu game punishment or something, where, like, I'm not allowed to talk about video games while chatting with you guys, I would have nothing to say. I would have to fall back on anime or manga or something like that in order to eke through. I have no real non-media interests. I'd have to talk about how I've been reading Dr. Stone lately. And I'm only a couple of chapters past where the anime ends, so that's gonna run out real quick. Batsudan is good pun though. Punishment talk. That is good. Batsudan ban nerd stuff? If you ban nerd stuff, I'll just cease to be. I'll just cease to be. Whatever YouTube likes to put on my recommended. Yeah, but see, I have multiple different accounts depending on whether I'm on my phone or on the computer, and I don't really pay attention to YouTube algorithm stuff, so no. I dare not look at that beast in the eye. Dr. Stone is good. I'm having a lot of fun reading through it. They introduced like a really good character just after the second season of the anime ends, and that strikes me as just ridiculous. Batsudan sounds like it could be like a format. There is something there. I can almost grasp it. I can almost visualize it, of some sort of penalty-based chatting presentation. But I don't know. That's for smarter people than I. I don't come up with new stuff by myself. I'm not an inventor. But yeah, banning nerd stuff is out of the question. I only know about nerd stuff. I can only talk about nerd stuff. There is naught else. No. Chat regimes like banning words, ideas, or letters, and you rack up punishment points for a future stream. See, look! Somebody else is already coming up with an idea. All I have to do is sit, all I have to do is sit back and wait, and someone with a brain is gonna come along and come up with a thing. It's the easiest gig, mortals. I can just chill. People only have so much to talk about. This is true, and this is why I feel like I'm always walking on the edge of a tightrope when I stream a little bit. Regardless of whether it's a game or not, because like I feel even though I'm playing a video game, I should always be talking, right? But I still should like talk about. But like in the case of a video game, I can still just talk about the video game. But sometimes there's no more game to talk about because all the game we can talk about has been talked about. And then what awaits then is the awkward gap of silence, which I seek to avoid. I follow that philosophy of like trying to talk all the time, but I'm really bad at it. I can get go like I've got like right now obviously I can't shut up, but that's because I'm taking a long time to say the thought. But you know. And there's the silence. Welcome, Kano1_. Welcome. Is tomato a fruit? Well, let me just enter that into Google. Ooh, Google's not going to answer it right away. Make a redeem specifically for bringing up a new topic to talk about, the cheat code to Zatsudans. Well, no, because somebody can just say a new topic, and then, you know, that'll happen. I'm not gonna make him spend points to have a conversation with me. No, no, no. Alright, tomato. It's a berry. 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 So it's a fruit. But it's regarded as a vegetable in cooking and stuff like that. There's literally a part of the Wikipedia page for tomato says fruit versus vegetables. It's technically a berry, considered a culinary vegetable because it has lower sugar. Tomato was ruled by the US Supreme Court to be a vegetable based on the popular definition that classifies vegetable by use. My skill at Zatsudan is a strong point for me. I just can't see it that way because, you know, it is impossible for one to perceive one's own positive points in my experience. Is tomato a fruit but you can't use the letter E in your answer? I accept. Trying to find way to say word that is identity without using bad letter. No, I just did it. You not using the letter I, not using the letter E is hard. Wait, identity has it? Oh, I thought identity just had 3 eyes. I thought identity had 3 eyes. I thought identity had 3 eyes, and I didn't flunk it until. Oh. Let me try again. Individual who has show on box fancy box guy who plays TV fun activity. It's more bad than that, Congo. All my nicks what? No! I was trying to avoid saying worse. Oh no, see the problem with that, I can't even say my own name. I can't say VTuber, I can't say streamer, I can't say World Wide Web, I can't say the internet, I can't say Carmine, minecart, bike bomb, vehicle explosive. There's no way to say my name that does not involve an E. E is a tough ban. E is a tough ban. But in terms of, like, actually answering the question, tomato is fruit. But in cooking, Is coal... Is coal... Is coal... Not that. There. Ooh, that was a close save there. I can go back to talking like normal. I could have just answered, I don't know. But I do know now, because I googled it! I googled it! It is a fruit biologically, but a vegetable by the popular definition or in terms of cooking. That I read it off of Wikipedia, so I do know it. That was fun. That was fun indeed. Bam. But yeah, not using the letter E is hard. There's so many words you can't say. I guess it's the most common word in the English language, maybe? Zatsudan is perhaps a winning formula. More trials are needed. Oh, you're gonna conduct some VTuber R&D. You're gonna research the SEO on a Zatsudan. You gotta apply science and analytics. You have another tricky game preferences related question. Shoot. Shoot your shot, Mario. Go, 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 go. Numbers, numbers, numbers. Indeed, more they do. Please. Use your numerology to create the ultimate clickbait Zatsudan. We can throw it up on TikTok. Is there any game I enjoy which I would admit it's legitimately bad? That is my style. Kingdom Hearts 358.5 days, or 358 over 2 days, sorry. I always think of it as a half in my head, but it's over 2 days. Nope, nope, nope. Dirge of Cerberus is a legit masterpiece, Congo. I'll contest you on that one. Dirge of Cerberus is a good time, video game wise. It's Kingdom Hearts Days that is the real sort of clunky one. Yeah, play Dirge of Cerberus. I already did for Valentine's Day because it was Vincent Valentine's Day. Stop? Okay. I've stopped. Do not speak ill of days. Oh, okay. For a second I thought you were trying to get me to stop moving so that I, you know, don't incur some sort of terrible curse or something like that. No, 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 Vivuvre, please, understand. Understand, I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and I love Days. I love Kingdom Hearts Days. I love it. It's, I think the panel system is incredibly interesting, and like a really cool concept. The gameplay is just very clunky because it was the first DS Kingdom Hearts and they hadn't nailed it yet like what they would with Recoded. I think it's still a game that's very well worthy of being loved, but it is technically very clunky. But the plot is just phenomenal. KH3's data, Shion. Yeah. It's a shame that like the data fights in KH3, while amazing, they didn't fill me with the same sort of intensity that Kingdom Hearts 2's data fights did. Well, we're putting on the mask, it seems like. Alright. This is what I've been driven to do. No one cared who I was until I put on the mask. Hello, my name is Carmine Phlegathon. I'll be your host. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, but in terms of games, none of them really like in terms of the games, none of them really measure up to 1 and 2. I feel like 1 and 2 are the high points of the series, and like there's good stuff to be found in all the other ones, of course. Chain of Memories, Rechain of Memories, Birth by Sleep, Days, Recoded, Dream Drop Distance, 3. Decent games all in terms of enjoyability, but yeah. Objectively the best game of the series, but I always enjoy BBS the most. I can't understand why that would be the case, Congo. What draws one to Birth by Sleep? I mean, I suppose if you like characters being really stupid with each other. Because Terra, Aqua, and Ven are very stupid with each other for that, because it's meant to be a tragedy, and in the style of many tragedies, it's a tragedy because the characters won't stop like messing up. But it doesn't like it never fully grabbed me. It has amazing moments in it, but it never fully grabbed me. And playing through it is obviously kind of weird, because you're playing the same stages thrice over. You're basically going through the game in sequence 3 times, playing as different characters. And the combat itself doesn't have the sort of... I feel like... What was it? Something about the feel of it's different in terms of like staggering and whatnot. Then again, it had some really interesting elements. Shotlock made it all the way into Kingdom Hearts 3, and the command deck was very interesting. I wish they'd kept that in some sort of some other way. And also, the command board. Oh, the command board. I'm a big fan of the command board. I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of the command board. Who wants to play some Monopoly that will power up your abilities? I would. That's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. Lingering Will is the best character in Kingdom Hearts. Yes. Your heart succumbs. Your body submits, your heart succumbs. So why does your mind resist? It's just so good. Also, how crazy is it, right? That the fan theory, the absolutely out there fan theory that you know what was actually Terra, actually was Terra. Like, damn. It's a shame that like all of the plot resolution in Kingdom Hearts 3 is all handled all at once, all at the end of it. It doesn't care if the Kingdom Hearts course concede. Yeah, literally doesn't have a heart, literally doesn't care. It's awesome. Still beat that fool 7 ways to Sunday on critical mode. Got the crown for it. Very proud of that. You hated KH3 ending? I mean, why? Like, yeah. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's not as good as either the endings of 1 or the ending of 2. Like, that's the real issue with Kingdom Hearts 3, I feel. Like, it's just not as good as 1 or 2. And that's a real shame, because they spent so much time on actually making it. But it's just not as good as 1 or 2. 1 was an amazing game. Like, Kingdom Hearts 1 is an amazing video game, and Kingdom Hearts 2 is likewise an amazing video game that, in many ways, really improved on Kingdom Hearts 1 in a lot of interesting ways, while being a little less interesting in some areas, like map design, for example. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 is just kind of there. I don't really have a burning urge to replay it very much. I mean, it's more Kingdom Hearts, but it doesn't really seem to have that spark there. Am I being pretentious by saying that? Like, is that a pretentious thing to say? That it feels, you know, it plays like a Kingdom Hearts, but it doesn't really... I mean, there's not a lot to going through it, because there really is no plot until the very final bits of it. It really kind of, like, the interesting things of it were, like, its use of, like, really big maps and open world stuff, which really only shone in Pirates of the Caribbean and the Big Hero 6 worlds. I do like getting a pirate ship, though. I'm a big fan of getting a pirate ship. Oh, and hidden Mickeys were fun to collect. But in hindsight, it really wasn't worth, like, it could never have matched up to the hype, I feel. In hindsight, it could never have matched up to the hype. And that's a shame. That's a shame. Do I think Disney interfered too much in the development? Like, I mean, yes. Almost certainly. 100% yes. Especially if you believe the theory that Larxene, especially if you believe the theory that the Ice Castle in the Frozen world was originally going to be created by Elsa, who was acting as an antagonist. Because that sounds way interesting. Nomura also, like, Nomura's also to blame. Let's be real. Nomura's also to blame. Like, Disney meant that not a lot of interesting stuff could happen in the Disney world. Like Frozen just being climbing up a mountain and rolling back down over and over again. Being fond of hinting but having a hard time finishing is common. Ah, yes, the Stephen Moffat problem. Hey, Vivuvre, what the actual F? You want him to have a mental breakdown. You want this good boy Roxas to have a mental breakdown. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. How dare you? Yeah, there can be a scene of them acknowledging each other, but Roxas is his own person. He only looks like Ventus because of circumstances involving the heart. He's not a carbon copy. They literally have a different voice. Like, the voice actor is doing a different voice on both of them, and Roxas has the better one. That's actually what that's an interesting thing, is that, like, the combat voice lines in Kingdom Hearts 2's re-releases is unfortunately Ventus's instead of Roxas's, so they sound different. You want to watch him flip out in Teenage Angst? He's had his Teenage Angst moment. He's past that. God damn you. My boy has suffered enough. He's suffered enough. I will not stand for him suffering more. You want him to suffer more, you better be prepared to throw hands. I've beaten all of the organization on critical mode. I'm not scared of anyone. He's earned a break. He's earned a break. Give the guy a break. Please. Please. I saw a Roxas, Vanitas, Ventus, Shion scene where they just sit around a table and point at each other. Ah, the whole Spider-Man thing. That would be nice. That would be nice. But also the character storylines for the... I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? With Kingdom Hearts 3, of the whole having a hard time finishing, is that the character storylines were left off in a very specific place for all of these characters, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 ended, like they concluded all of this stuff. Like, it concluded the organization trio, it concluded the story of the Birth by Sleep trio, like... And none of them really end that satisfyingly. Vanitas comes back, but there's not really a whole lot of interesting stuff going on there. Also, there's no way I have not been wearing this mask for enough time. Surely. Surely it's been 5 minutes. The Master of Masters option select. Option select? What's the Master of Masters selecting? Oh no. A comment about Kingdom Hearts that I don't understand. This bodes ill. Don't tell me it's something from Melody of Memory. I haven't played Melody of Memory. It's a rhythm game. It should be illegal to play those. They couldn't just do a theater rhythm, right? They couldn't just do a theater rhythm. Nomura couldn't just do a theater rhythm. Nomura, they couldn't just do a theater rhythm. They had to do it, work it into the next phase of the plot post Dark Seeker Saga. I'm just fed up. Anyone could have been Lucio, but Nomura just ended up choosing Zigbar. I don't know. I mean, it works for it. Like, it only works for a certain number of characters that could have been Lucio. Actually, wait, no, it could have been. No, hold on. No, it could have been any of them. Never mind. Dearly Beloved Swing was good. Dearly Beloved Swing is the only good thing about that game. And you've reminded me that it exists, so I'm just going to sort of tab that for later. Because it's very good. Very, very good. Very good. That was good. But it's like the only new track, I'm pretty sure. It's like the only new track in all of Melody of Memory, which sucks. What a silly headcanon. Roxas isn't a bully. Absolutely not. There will be no pathos. The story is concluded. The characters have earned their happy ending. You get no pathos. You will acquire no additional pathos in the post game setting. Nothing of the sort. Everyone lives happily ever after, and they all play Blitzball together on Destiny Islands. The end. Okay? That'd be a heck of a... If you made a Blitzball team out of all Keyblade wielders, though, that's a heck of a team. That'd be a heck of a team. Sora's already shown that they can operate very well underwater, whether it be in mermaid form or not. They can shot lock to the ball or other players. I'm picturing it in my head and it's amazing. Even faster than regular Blitzball. With players that can basically teleport. And they also have giant keys with which to beat the ball. The Keyblade is confirmed as being really effective at hitting a Blitzball too, because Sora, like, on Destiny Island, he knocks them away when Waka throws them at him, like, really good. Keyball in the world of darkness to defeat Ansem. That's gotta be such a, like, oh man. One interesting thing about Final Fantasy X, actually, is that Tidus is the Blitzball guy, but Tidus uses a sword, and Waka, who is notably, like, not as much of a Blitzball star as Tidus, is the one who uses the Blitzball. And it's never actually explained why Tidus knows how to use the sword. I forget Balloon Bounce, where you can get 100 plus bounces on a ball trivially. I do forget Balloon Bounce. I do forget Balloon Bounce. Oh man. Kingdom Hearts, like in Kingdom Hearts 2, having stuff like that is like the jobs in Twilight Town, right? Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't have those. Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't have that level of sort of additional detail of like there's a dancing sequence in Rapunzel, in the Rapunzel one, right? And you can and then like that has a gameplay sequence, and then you can never do it again, which isn't really a thing for mini games in Kingdom Hearts. So I don't know why they. Anyway. And they also don't do final mixes anymore. 3 just got like updates, so there's not that sort of like. Because with a final mix, because it's a re-release of the game that you'd have to buy all over again, they put in a lot more effort, I feel like, in terms of making new stuff. But in terms of Kingdom Hearts 3, they just made a DLC and slapped that on there. Rather than, like, working new stuff into existing areas in the game. The gravity of my stereotype has settled, it would seem. We're talking about Kingdom Hearts. What were we even talking about before Kingdom Hearts? Oh, bad games! Yes! Bad video games. Because Days is clunky. The secret boss of Vanilla KH3, Dark Inferno. Dark Inferno is an actual joke. Don't even talk to me about Dark Inferno. I refuse to have a conversation about Dark Inferno. Absolutely not. No way, no how, no way, no how, no way, no how, no way, no how, no way, no how. None, none, none. But yeah, in terms of other bad games, I don't think I'll ever... I mean, Yozora's fun. Yozora's a fun boss. Yozora was a fun boss to fight. I'll give Yozora that. But the question of what's going to happen with Yozora in the future is way up in the air. Way up in the air. Way up in the air. Like, what is Nomura trying to do? He's trying to pull a Versus 13 again. Literally what Nomura is trying to do. And I don't know if they're going to let him do that. Whatever the result is going to be, it's going to be pretty crazy, but we haven't had any news about it. I don't think there's a single upcoming project at Square that Nomura is really going to be heavily hands-on with. He's not that involved in 7 Remake Part 2, as far as I'm aware. We haven't heard anything about a new Kingdom Hearts game, as far as I'm aware. And, Stranger of Paradise did come out, so... And he only wrote he only came up with the core idea in that case. Seeing the original KH setting, not including Disney Worlds. How do you mean original KH setting, not including Disney Worlds? You mean non-Disney World worlds? Like Radiant Garden and Land of Departure and Destiny Islands and Travis Town, etc., etc. Oh, well, yeah, there's gonna be a new KH game, but we haven't had anything announced about it. Like, okay, what upcoming Square Enix games? Google. Forspoken and Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition. Well, that's not a very big list at all, Google. It's not a very big list at all. I feel like having too much of that, though, Congo, is like antithetical to what Kingdom Hearts is. It should be able to use the Disney settings in interesting ways and not have to like rely too heavily, because like that's a real issue with, like, obviously when it's used poorly you get something like Kingdom Hearts 3 where there's only a small sliver of Twilight Town, as opposed to Kingdom Hearts 2 having the entirety of Hollow Bastion to hang out in and also be connected to a Disney world in the form of Tron. But it should be able to like have the Disney like if used well, the Disney should make up a lot of it. It shouldn't just be sort of all original stuff. Like, that was the big problem with with KH3. No Final Fantasy characters. The whole thing with Kingdom Hearts is that it's a crossover between Final Fantasy and Disney. And it's gotta have elements of both of those series. Like, it's its own thing. It's its own thing. But that thing is... it's a combination. It's a combination of those two things, and it should have elements of both, is all I'm saying. You've had enough of hold on. Hold on, Congo. What do you mean you've had enough of Shibuya? How can you have had enough of Shibuya, Tokyo? Of Tokyo Shibuya? That's impossible. There is no such thing as too much Shibuya. Why else would it be in all things? Explain that. Besides, Quadratum isn't Shibuya. It just also has 104 for some reason, which is weird. And kind of sucks, because I would love to see another crossover between the World Ends With You and Kingdom Hearts. You've gone so far as to spend hours in real life looking for children in Shibuya. What? What? Why? What? There's a story there, I'm assuming, but, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That's my worst nightmare. That's my worst nightmare. I mean, my worst my worst nightmare is being the child. But being in a position where I've got to go looking for the child is also very bad. But it's Japan, right? So if they get lost, they can just, like... Oh yeah, because everyone speaks Japanese. I was gonna be like, they could, you know, go to the police or something like that, but I don't know. I don't know what to do when you get lost. I've never been lost because I worry about that exact thing. That exact thing I worry about. I worry about getting lost and, like, not knowing what to do in that situation. There's a big crowd in Shibuya. But yeah, fair enough, Congo, fair enough. Yeah, no. I've never gotten lost while holidaying or anything like that. But yeah, in terms of, I mean, they might do something interesting with Quadratum. They might not, but like Nomura's desire to like do Versus 13 finally, that's interesting to me at least. But I don't know how well Kingdom Hearts will suffer being the vehicle for it. But in terms of upcoming Square things that they've got, it looks like the list of upcoming games is just Star Ocean, Valkyrie Elysium, the Diofeld Chronicle, and Final Fantasy 16. And Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16. Why did they show Final Fantasy 16? I'm so mad. Who forced the hand of Creative Business Unit 3? Explain to me this. Explain to me this. Who forced the hand of Creative Business Unit 3? Why? What, I have to kill Chaos? No. Bivouvré, that's Stranger of Paradise. That already came out. And it was Game of the Year. Elden Ring can suck it. But no, because Final Fantasy 16 was announced late 2020. And the tweet, the tweet from their account at the time, the last tweet of 2020 was in November, and it said they'll have new information to share later in 2021. And then December 2021 rolls around. They haven't tweeted for an entire year. And they just say, that they can't keep the promise as complications stemming from yada yada have delayed the game's development by almost a half year. And I'm so mad. They shouldn't have told me it existed. Are you my warrior of darkness, Carmilla? Welcome, Kura's not salty. Welcome. No. You might have me confused for someone else. I'm Carmine. Carmilla is clearly someone else. I don't know anyone by that name. Welcome. FF16 looks great, though. But we don't know anything! The Final Fantasy XVI Twitter account has 15 tweets. Before the year 2020 was done, I already had all of the theory crafting and, like, lore knowledge of the continent that I could have. I need it. I need it. You don't understand what this will do for me. It's a new mainline Final Fantasy that will be good. I can sense it. I know these things. I know it. And there's not been a good single-player Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy XII, which came out in 2006. So more than 15 years. More than 15 years between Final Fantasies of quality. They spent so much time. They spent so much time on the Fabula Nova Crystallis. And on the whole, the Fabula Nova Crystallis was an absolute disaster. I'm ashamed of it. My rule of thumb for FF is the less modern technology there is, the likelier it is to be good. I mean... Congo, I'm sure you have your own reasons for that rule, but it's quite frankly absolutely nonsense considering that it would put Final Fantasy II above Final Fantasy VII. Like, let's be real here. It's a nonsense rule. It can't be applied in all situations. FF16 having sort of a tacticsy vibe is very nice, and I agree, I like that. It's definitely a good thing for them to be doing. After Final Fantasy 15 sucked so hard. Final Fantasy 13 was, ooh, it's futuristic looking technology, FF15 was, oh, it's basically modern technology but with airships and stuff like that. And they're finally moving back to a sort of an FF9-esque return to classic fantasy. And I'm very interested in that. But, like, there's always got to be some sort of fantastical technology in Final Fantasy. The very first Final Fantasy had the floating fortress and stuff like that. And robots. There were robots in the first Final Fantasy. So there's always got to be some level of tech. Which in this is probably just going to be, you know, airships and stuff. A sort of classic Ivalice vibe. Which I like. I just need it to exist in a tangible form that I can consume. If they pull out a cell phone, my eyes narrow. But Congo! How can you not love the classic, the classic film, the highly acclaimed film, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, in which the flip phone of Cloud Strife is a key plot point, in which because the film is also advertising for a brand of phones with a camera on them, Vincent walks into town to fight and says, "Where can I buy a phone?" Isn't that a bit hypocritical of you being a Trails fan? I mean, Arcus is off. Like Orbments went from pocket watches to being phones. They have gone from pocket watches to being like cell phones now. That's undeniable. It started with the Arcus. Oh wait, I think it actually started with the previous generation in Crossbell, the first ones can do master quartz. I think they had a built-in radio as well. But the point is that that's been the thing for a while. And there's no going back. Yeah, that phone has a camera on it. It's wild that they, like... Advent Children is good for precisely one scene. It's good for 2 reasons. 1, amazing soundtrack. 2, T for First Laws. I think that the writers at FF have a considerably harder time writing in technology in an interesting way than Falcom, which has worlds that breathe much more realistically. Well, true, Falcom does have the advantage in that they are literally engaging in a sort of industrial revolution. That means that the rate of technology growth in the setting is staggering if you compare the technology level in Trails in the Sky to the technology level in Kuro no Kiseki. And in FF, they have to make pretty much each setting for scratch, except in the case of 12, where they cheated that one time and used Iblis. I mean, yeah, like technology, there are games that have more of a focus on technology, in which, like, take 10 for example. 10 has some interesting technology, and the story is also sort of about technology. Technology was meaningful because the story conceit was about it. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, aside from Midgar, really, the thing about Final Fantasy VII, aside from Midgar, when it comes to technology, is the technology level of the setting of Final Fantasy VII is essentially the setting of Final Fantasy VI, with airships and whatnot, and like it's a slightly more techy, but it's like one step above, again, aside from Midgar, which is like, because once you get away from Midgar in Final Fantasy VII, there are all these sort of classic Final Fantasy like Midgar. No, I literally just said Midgar. Calm and Nibelheim. Stuff like that. Cosmo Canyon. Need more Ivalice games. I'm sorry, but the Ivalice Alliance is dead, Mario. There's not going to be any more. There hasn't been an Ivalice Alliance for some time. The point that Kefka's endgame is basically the abolishment of it to become a god. True. Kefka's like the invert. Kefka's like the reverse Shinra. Interesting. I've never thought about him like that. Why though? Because it just doesn't exist anymore. It existed. Listen, there was Tactics Vagrant Story, Tactics Advanced, and then there was that whole range of like 2006, 2007, where there was 12, Tactics A2, Grimoire of the Rift, Tactics War of the Lions, and 12 Revenant Wings. That was in the span of like a year. Woo. Like 2 years. Wow. Then nothing. Then literally nothing from that point aside from Crystal Defenders, Tactics S. Ivalice is dead, you've got to let it go. Square has abandoned it. And I don't like that fact. But it's the case. And then they tried to do a sort of... So they were like, okay, so the Ivalice Alliance is dead, so let's make the Fabula Nova Crystallis, where it's not one shared setting, but they share plot elements, and then also all of the games are going to range from bad to mediocre. Fantastic idea. Like, you know, I've said that like 16 is going to be the first new mainline Final Fantasy single player that that won't be bad, right? But it's also going to be the first one, because of 13 and 15, it's going to be the first one since 12 that isn't in the Fabula Nova Crystallis. I'm telling you, the Fabula Nova Crystallis is the root of all evil. 13-2, I have played up until the endgame, Congo, and it's an improvement on Final Fantasy 13, and it does some interesting things, but it's still, I don't know how if I could call it objectively good. It has been a good while, some many years since I played it, so I'd have to replay it. But, oh boy. Do I want to, is the question. I mean, I did technically, I did sort of buy up Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2 while they were on sale. So they are technically in my Steam library. But no. Just no. That's for a rainy day, I feel like. I mean, making use of the monsters is interesting. It's an interesting mechanic. But Final Fantasy 13, when it comes to monsters, I mean, there's something about the design style of the monsters in Final Fantasy 13 is such that when they showed up in Final Fantasy 14, everyone was like, "What are these things? They look dumb." It's also the debut of the legendary song "Crazy Chocobo." Listen. I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna say a word against the soundtrack. Are you kidding me? Full Speed Ahead is amazing, but then it's impossible to say anything bad about the soundtrack of 13 in the first place, because 13 is a amazing work by Masashi Hamauzu. 15's soundtrack is interesting to me because it's made by one of my favorite composers ever, and I also don't like it that much. I think because of the heavy focus on orchestral that's put forward by Final Fantasy 15. I really like Yoko Shimomura's music, but I feel like when it comes to the orchestral tracks, they don't stick with me as much. I'm just not that fond of 15's soundtrack. Yeah, but at the same time, this means that it's less customizable because you only have the two human members. You only have Sarah and Noel, who only have their specific set of three jobs. I mean, top 3 FF combat. That seems a bit. I know you can switch between the X and Y formations or whatnot. But top 3. Congo, we've got to get you playing the Final Fantasy VII New Threat mod. We've got to get you playing the FF7 New Threat mod. That's good fun. Granted it's a mod, but that's good Final Fantasy combat to me. I gotta play it again, I guess. I gotta play it again and experience the gameplay. I mean, I did make it much further than in 13 on a single run, so that indicates to me that maybe that you're onto something there, and the combat isn't as bad. It is interesting that they made Sarah a protagonist as well. None of the previous characters from Final Fantasy 13 are playable, which does give them a chance to make the characters less Final Fantasy 13 party, where everyone is mean to each other until a certain point at which they're all sort of like a team, and I still have I can't track the progress of that happening. The character development in 13 is a bit of a mystery to me. I just don't get it. But, you know, such and such. So, I mean, I feel like a stereotype, right? Because I keep talking, I keep having Zatsudans, and I keep dragging people into conversations about Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. Just because, because I talked about good and bad games, and that's a large part of my experience with games, and I have a lot of thoughts on them. And it's I've caught myself doing it again. My brain is just, too focused on Final Fantasy. It's a terrible affliction. In terms of non-final, what can I even talk about? See, that's the thing, though. What can I even talk about? What can I even talk about? I'm scanning my brain for literally anything that I can talk about that isn't just me whinging about the Fabula Nova Crystallis. Oh, and don't even get me started on Type 0. Type 0 is a game that I both love and dislike. Night-night, Vivuvre, night-night. Please have a nice and cozy rest. Type 0 is a war story, but also a sort of like, it has an eldritch twist to it, and I really like that. But also the character, it has like a whole bunch of main characters with not a lot of development. I mean, you could say that about any of the Fabula Nova Crystallis games. It was definitely high potential. That we have arrived at the start of the game when Class 0 first shows up. Amazing. I was always interested in Type 0 before I ended up playing it because I bought it for the episode Duske demo of Final Fantasy 15. Because the Class 0 looks so interesting, and all of these characters are all very distinct, and they've all got their own little weapons and stuff, but they all have no character arcs whatsoever. They're very one note. And they don't really display the most they displayed the most characterization for me at the end of the game. But the circumstances of that just made me go, "Nah, you should have done this before." Then I would care about these characters more. Alas. Alas. Yeah, I guess short of a Zatsudan game. You know what, maybe that might be an actual good thing. Maybe I should try that sometime. Maybe we could do Zatsudan training. Because like, if we ban video games from Zatsudan chat, then again, maybe that'll backfire. I don't know, I'm in two minds about it. On the one hand, I won't be able to like talk about stuff that I usually talk about in Zatsudan, so that might push me to have like more interesting conversations with you guys, or like new topics or stuff like that. But at the same time, if I lose out on being able to like rant about Final Fantasy games, for example, I don't know exactly if I've got enough material in my existence to fill that sort of in. I'm very one note myself, actually. Let's talk about food. Okay, food is delicious. Call it skill improvement. I guess we'll schedule it then. I guess we'll schedule it for next week. Skill improvement. Let's talk about food. I mean, there's not much to talk about with food, Mario, because you see, there's two kinds of food. The good and the uneaten. And I only make the one kind. Well, technically it's not uneaten. It's bad, but I eat it anyway because I have no standards for eating food that I made. Welcome, welcome to Bori Yakuza. Confucius say it is good to meet girl in park, but better to park meet and girl? That doesn't make any sense. What? How do you... You can't... Well, first of all, you can't park meat. Oh, wait, no. Oh, I get it. I get what Confucius is saying. Confucius is saying that it's good to meet somebody. It's good to meet a girl in a park. It's good to meet somebody new. But it's even better to have a delicious meal that you've cooked yourself with somebody. So he's saying it's better to feed the girl with some delicious meat. I see. What's the food at the borderline for me? The food I dislike the most that I'd still eat. See, that's the thing, Congo VT, is I'm incredibly... Listen, Congo. I'm incredibly picky. So if I don't like a food, odds are I won't eat it. It would have to be some form of salad, I imagine. Not really? What do you mean, not really, Mario? I understand the wisdom of Confucius. I know that, wait, what's another Confucius saying? I'm not Googling anything, shut up. I'm not... Wait, what? Never give a sword to a man who can't dance? What? What? I'm confused. Maybe Confucius didn't know jack about anything. What does dancing ability have to do with swordsmanship? Unless it's a Persona 4 dancing all night scenario. Unless it's a Persona 4 dancing all night scenario in which dancing is the power. Dancing is the power by which you defeat your enemies. Because that'd make a lot of sense. If they can't dance, they're not cultured or agile enough to wield a blade. Maybe they simply haven't had the opportunity to learn. You can't withhold the blade from them unless you're also providing them an avenue to learn how to dance. That is the other part of it. Dancing is what fighting is referred to as. Nope. Nope, dancing is dancing and fighting is fighting. Margaret is the best character in P4D, by the way. She does have a nice dancing style. Electronica in the Velvet Room. But, I mean, like, listen. But, I'm afraid, Congo, that you're wrong. You're wrong. And I'm unafraid to tell you this because it's an indisputable fact who the actual best character is in Persona 4 Dancing. Now, I've never played Persona 4 Dancing, but I did once watch a long play before I had actually played Persona 4, because that is the kind of degenerate you will now finding out that I am. And I've seen the dances, and I know for a fact Adachi Dancing Fog, yes, that's also a very good one. That's undeniably top tier, amazing. But no, it's Naoto Shirogane. Naoto Shirogane is the best character in Persona 4 Dancing. That's just simply a fact. Listen. Have you seen her dancing to heaven? Which, by the way, the Norihiko mix of heaven from Persona 4 is godly. It's so good. It's such a good track, and it went to the best character. Like, Naoto Shirogane is already best girl from Persona 4, but in the dancing game, they just went really hard with her. You've never been in the Naoto faction. I am disappointed. I am disappointed. How anyone cannot be in the Naoto faction just boggles my mind. I can see no other path. Like, there's no other game, right, where the dominance, like, of a particular party member's bestness is so completely apparent. Final Fantasy VII, Aerith, Tifa, or Yuffie. There's good cases to be made for all of them. Persona 5 even. I can see that with a lot of them. I mean, I'm not saying that like in Persona 4, I'm not saying that the other girls are bad. I think they're great. I think Rise is great. I think Chie is great. I think Yukiko is great. But in terms of the title of best girl, it's gotta be Naoto. There's no competition. The best character in P4 is of course Kanji. Kanji is very good. Kanji is very good, and a lot of the only issue with Kanji is one that's not his fault, and it's a lot of people misunderstanding his character arc in a way that I find very sad indeed. But Kanji Tatsumi is just an amazing character. I like that he starts with a folding chair, because his weapon type is shields. It's just very choice. I mean, that's good taste. You have a very particular type, and it's a type that everyone can approve of. Kanji makes me hate Yosuke. Yeah, because welcome, Randaloka. I mean, it is true that those are the times in which Yosuke is the most annoying and the least endearing. Those are the times where Yosuke is the most annoying, for sure. Like, I like Yosuke, but he's gotta learn to cool it. Ironically, Yosuke's thing makes a lot more sense, like with Kanji, makes a lot more sense if he's actually in the closet, like what is implied in the like the romance lines that were cut for his social link. What I want to know with those cut lines is how'd they even get to the voicing in English even. Oh wait, maybe I was duped on YouTube. Was there a cut? Were there cut? Hold on, I've got to confirm this if I'm even remembering this. Persona 4. Yes! There was a voiced line in which Yosuke confesses. They probably dubbed both, but then cut before release. Yeah, that's what's interesting to me, because Persona 4, if you look at Persona 4's release thing... When did they start dubbing? Because the release was... Oh, wow, really? July 10th, 2008, December 9th, 2008. Is that less than Persona 5's? It's incredible that Persona 4 is a story about choosing your own path, but the ending is just the status quo is alright, actually. That's actually something... Okay, so that's something that I felt very interesting... No, please, Congo, please. You're well entitled to rant about Persona at length here. But the thing about that... What I found very interesting, if you take... Yukiko's story is very interesting, right? Yukiko's story in Persona 4, her social link, is one I find fascinating, because her whole thing is she's expected to take over the Amagi Inn, but she doesn't want to do that, so she makes all these plans to go off and live in the city, right? But at the end, she comes to the decision of, oh, actually, I'm gonna stay and run the Amagi Inn, and you might see that and then think, so we've arrived back at the same point. So it was all kind of pointless. And I can see how someone would come to that kind of conclusion, but it's also a conclusion that I disagree with, because I feel like the most important thing in that particular instance was that before the social link, Yukiko felt like she didn't have a choice, and at the end of it, she actively makes the choice to do something because it's what she wants. So when it comes to the status quo, someone can choose that they prefer it, basically. But that the snap to it gave the impression of giving up. I never felt like it was giving up. I never felt like it was giving up, but maybe it is in the presentation. I feel like the message there is important. It's true that it's a bit of a mixed message if, somebody chooses to just do what other people expect of them. But I think there's value in not rejecting an idea just because it wasn't one that you initially picked out yourself. It's a complicated subject, I think. Yeah, September 15, April 4th. Oh, maybe they are about the same sort of difference in terms of release dates. Yeah, so if it was so close, that's probably why the cut Yosuke thing was the way it was. If Persona 4's focus was accepting the status quo on your own terms, it wouldn't be quite as bad. That is kind of the thing that it ended up being, right? Because there's Naoto's whole line of, like, you know, I will never be a man. A lot of characters, like, end up, like, doing what they were doing before, but just being more chill about it, you know? I don't know. I feel like there's I feel that there's an exaggeration to this. I think in terms of execution, it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it so poorly. That said, normal kanji. Normal kanji. That could mean so many things. That could mean so many things. Are we talking about Kanji's character arc? Because... Normal kanji. Oh! Well, I mean... Yeah. Is that golden? Anyway, I mean... I can kind of see your point, Congo. But I also think you miss it a bit. The point that the game's trying to make. Because the thing with Kanji, right, is that Kanji likes... Like, I could see it going either way. But Kanji's whole sort of punk persona... Like, it was never really who he was. It was him being, like, trying to overcompensate because he liked cute things like crocheting and whatnot. And making stuffed animals. So him mellowing out makes a lot of sense. It is weird to see him like that, I'm not gonna lie. But the integral parts of his character are, in fact, like... Like he's a big softy at heart. And he has sort of, you know, arts and crafts interests. But I don't know. I wouldn't know because I haven't played Golden. I played original Persona 4 like a Chad. It's interesting though, because I mean, now I could technically play Persona 4 Golden on Steam. Atlas did a PC release, but they haven't released 3 or 5 or anything like that. I don't know what goes on in their heads. I don't know what goes on in Atlas's heads. I don't know how they sort of think on things. Also, wasn't Atlas doing a thing? Wasn't there a Persona anniversary thing? Yeah, that was in September of last year. And still no Persona 6. Okay, there's an article about what they've actually done. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax on PC is the big one, obviously. That might be interesting. See, that would be interesting, a Persona fighting game, if I had any interest in picking up an additional fighting game. And then Persona 4 Golden's on Steam as well. June of 2020, really? Wow. Persona 4 Golden is arguably the best game in the Persona franchise. I can't even talk. I haven't played Persona 1 or or two. But seriously, is there nothing else here? Humma. I would like at least an announcement of Persona 6. They gotta, like, they aren't working on any new Persona 5 spin-offs. Strikers came out. You know, Strikers Scramble, Royal came out. Dancing for Persona 5 and Persona 3 came out. They've had a whole time of spin-offs. I mean, they made Persona Q2. They gotta be leading into a new main line, surely. But how are they even going to do it? Because Persona 5 made so many differences to the formula. Like Persona 3 was also very much reinventing the wheel on it, but like Persona 5, a lot of the differences were stylistic in nature. Not just quality of life and stuff, and they had, you know, the Phantom Thief outfits. Is something like that going to be a thing? What's the theme of Persona 6? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. Before Persona 4 Golden cut Margaret, so that annoys me. They didn't actually cut her, surely not. I know Marie is in it, but like, surely they didn't cut her. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. But yeah. Her social link is... Oh no! Oh no. Why would they cut a social link of a Velvet Room attendant? I wouldn't know, Mario. I haven't played Golden. I only hear the bad things. What was the most notable thing? For steak? For steak? For steak. For steak. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. I still remember, like, watching because I was a Metal Gear Solid fan, so I watched the I Am Daisy comic dubs of, like, Metal Gear Solid, and then I watched the Persona 4 one, despite the fact that I didn't know anything about, Persona 4. And then it turns out that all of the wild stuff that happened in the comic dub was actually stuff that happened. Like, just... It blew me away. It blew me away how accurate that actually was. I thought none of this must have been exaggerated for a joke. It wasn't. It was a wild ride playing Persona 4. I really love certain parts of that game. The whole detective bit at the end is very good, or it would have been very good if I wasn't spoiled by the internet as to who the real culprit was. Welcome, Clavia. Welcome. Good morning. That said, I'm not sure I have enough chatting fuel in the tank to keep the conversation going at this point. We're already 2 hours and 20 minutes in. I've never managed to hold up a Zatsudan for more than a few hours. I'm like a 3-stage rocket. I only have so many boosters. Alright, talk about the best type of rice. There's multiple types of rice? There's multiple types of rice? Interesting. I've run several Persona TRPG games, which have always been a riot. What actually introduced me to Persona was a tabletop role-playing game, funnily enough, Congo. The Velvet Room. Welcome, welcome, Garagara. Welcome, welcome. I did get to the Upside Down Castle, yes. And it broke my brain and I ended the stream. Took me about like 4 hours to get there. But yes, we're going to be tackling it next week. I'm not going to have to watch any video, thank you very much. I don't need to watch any video. I'll watch my own videos. No, I'm kidding. I would never watch my own VODs. Yeah, no, Persona TR, like literally the Velvet book, tabletop role-playing game adaptation of Persona, which is like a homebrew based on another system, is what introduced me to the concept of Persona, and I didn't understand what Persona was really at the time, so I wasn't good at playing that game. But it did introduce me to Persona, and I tried playing Persona 3 Portable, and it turned out that it really lost a lot of things. Persona 3 Portable lost a lot of things on its move to Portable, and nearly soured me off the series, but eventually I played Persona 5 because of the hype around it, and that is what started me down on this dark path of weebdom. The dark path of weebdom. Yeah, a lot of people really like Persona 3. I've got to clear it. I got to beat it. I got to beat Fess. Yeah, I get that. I get like being able to control your party, right? And FemC being a thing, right? And she has an amazing battle theme that's different from that one. But like, there is so much lost in a Persona game when there are no character animations and no walking around on the overworld, and I will defend this point to the death, because it literally just changed, like, it's such a different experience, I'm telling you. I'm also pretty sure it cut the it turned anime scenes from the original game into like slideshows, and man, the difference in presentation is just so much different. I appreciate what they were trying to do, but no. Yeah, Persona 5 has a nice aesthetic because it literally drips aesthetic because they put so much effort into making it super stylish and flashy. The opening of Persona 5 is still incredibly strong in terms of like it's interesting though, because though the core, because it's all like style, right, as opposed to the substance, which is, you know, fundamentally still the substance of a Persona game along the lines of 3 and 4, but like the things that a lot of people like remember and note about Persona 5 are all the really flashy things, like Joker's costume or the sort of the jazzy style to it all and stuff like that. Have I played Persona 2? Do you mean Persona 2 or Persona 2? Either way, I haven't played them. I haven't played either Persona 2 Innocent Sin or Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. I've heard that the FemC scenes in Persona 3 Portable are rough. I've heard that. It's Persona. Every opening's a banger. I defy you to find me a Persona opening that's not a banger. Atlas seem to have bangers like drawers of the stuff. They have bangers by the truckload. Here, there, and everywhere. Even the opening for the SMT Gacha was a banger. Really? Wow. I think I remember trying to play that and my phone couldn't run it because... Alright, but it's the banger that bangs the banger. That's how banger it is. I'm pretty sure that's violent if the banger is banging the banger. Lotus Juice is so good. I mean, yes. Everybody knows that Lotus Juice is so good. Ah, no. Nothing like that. Nothing. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching that. I'm not watching anything. I could be muting for any. I could be muting my sound thing for any possible reason. You don't know. You don't know why I'm doing that. I'm certainly not listening to copyrighted music or anything of the sort. Absolutely not. Such a thing is impossible and far, far below me. Dancing OPs are always like dancing in anime openings or game openings is always interesting. See, that was the thing. That was why I tried to play the SMT Gacha. Is it because it had this opening, right, and a lot of characters that seemed very interesting. I don't know how that ended up manifesting. I'm definitely not watching the full 90-minute video. No. Where am I looking? That's a question I don't have to answer. A mediocre game with a good base system that ended up doing a lot of ridiculous crossovers. Oh, the crossovers. That's unfortunate. Thoughts on music from spin-offs like DDS and Devil Summoner? Haven't played them, haven't listened to them. What sort of like secondary pleb do you take me for? You think I listen to music from games I don't play? That I haven't played? Absolutely not. No. I've never heard those soundtracks. Sonic gameplay. I'm now going to read the entire description in that image. Welcome, Hot Dog Bong Water 420. I really enjoyed fighting game OST the most. Well, fighting games do tend to have stellar OST, whether it's like, you know, Tekken's got some bangers, and then Soul Calibur, obviously, and Melty Blood. That stuff's the good stuff. Sonic. The supersonic hedgehog that wants to maintain his title of being the fastest ever. He enjoys his freedom and hates twists and turns. Although he's a bit short-sighted, he has the heart to help out those in need. He believes that life is a series of adventures and mishaps, while even finding excitement in the world being in peril, since that's exactly what he wants to experience. Wait, what does that mean? He the hedgehog that's kind of a big deal and can't stay still. He's Sonic the Hedgehog. No, there can't be another one. Welcome, Ricare. It is I, Carmine Phlegathon, the most cursed and powerful VTuber. He who was born under the red moon of fate, and he who wields a demon with his right arm. Hello. We're discussing Sonic the Hedgehog and how he's canon to SMT. I hope your stream is going good. Bayonetta is also canon to SMT. A witch possessing magical powers, Bayonetta was discovered sealed away in a coffin at the bottom of a lake 20 years ago. With almost no memories of her previous life, the one thing she remembers is her mission to exterminate the angels. Currently working with Undertaker informant Enzo, she hates cockroaches and crybabies. The name Bayonetta was given to her by Rodin, owner of the Gates of Hell. It's not as funny as Sonic's description, I'll admit. Devil May Cry is also canon to SMT. Well, we all knew that already. Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry series. Like, that was known to us, for sure. Whew. Sonic is now also canon to all of those. Oh, fuck. Doesn't that mean Mario's canon to all of those because of Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games? Dante, V, and Nero and Virgil are in SMT? Interesting. Wow, Virgil, how come you're allowed to be in Shin Megami Tensei twice? Gee, Virgil, how come your mom allows you to be in Shin Megami Tensei twice? My mother is dead. Ow. The Amigra theory. Nope, no theories. Wait. Oh, no, that's what you're doing. I thought for a second that was like... You were describing some sort of theory of all video games being connected. My mind blanked for a second. What's the Amigra theory? Yep, that's a Dante. That is a Dante. What's the Amigra theory? I've just googled it, Ricare, and I'm not getting any results. How underground is this theory? Googling weird things always gets weird results. Why is an image from... What? Oh, yep, that's Berserk, alright. Oh no! Wait. Oh no. That is the connection of all video games. I was there for one of those streams. I came up with the GACT connection. Strange, isn't it? All of that sort of stuff is way above my head, though. Why do you gotta listen? If you don't know why you have the GAC discography, then you've got to throw it out and burn it, because it's been put there. No, you gotta burn the whole hard drive. I'm sorry. You've got to burn the whole hard drive. Your situation is compromised. You can still save yourself. Please. Please, save yourself. Alright. That said, I gotta wind down this stream now. I'd love to keep chatting, but also stuff must be done. And I cannot do a chatting stream for more than a couple hours because my brain dies. Crazy that you can link back to Tony Hawk through official video game appearances only. Okay, but... see, now you've given me the idea for a skateboarding game in which everybody has swords! And it would be the coolest thing. It'd be the coolest thing. Alright, does anybody have a... While you're all here, before you all pile out and abandon me, does anybody have any good rating targets? Because if not, I'm just going to hit up Paper Bag. Oh, reliable. Anonymous Gifter, thank you for the sub to Clavio. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, if it's being seconded, I'll go with the recommendation. Let it be known that I follow the will of the people. I'm a democratic Carmine. Oh, welcome, Resident Rising. Paperbag, yes. Paperbag's also streaming. More Mario. What a surprise. All things return to Gactum Paperbag. Yeah, odds are, though. It is interesting of, like, sometimes you raid, right? And then the raid target raids into your initial target. The methodology of it all is fascinating to me. Anyhow. I mean, Paperbag's just a good default because he's on at the time, right? I have a very big follow list, but pretty much nobody is on, like, nobody on it is online at this time, except for Paperback. So, like, what I'm saying is that this that's actually something, like, real quick before we end, I'll say that that's something that I've been thinking about, is that, like, oh, I have way more than 20 tabs, Congo. There's no need to get into that. Well, not of Twitch, but, you know, I'm a tab fiend. But, like, there was a period, like when I woke, like when I woke up after passing out of the previous stream, like, everybody was streaming. I had a follow list that was just full of everybody streaming at the same time. All of these awesome VTubers streaming over each other, and then you get to, like, this time, like you get to, like, this time of day, and, like, there's a couple I know. There's a couple I know. Oh man, Paperbag and 20-way stereo. That's gotta be interesting. Alright, let's raid Comfy Basilisk. When a raid happens, the tab unmutes it if you mute it on the stream itself. That's not a thing that happens to me. I don't know why that would happen in your case. Alright. Where is my raid message? There you'll go. Take this fragment of my power, the ultimate raid technique, given from me unto you. Now, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out and chatting. I've had some really fun conversations today. Thank you. You're all wonderful people, wonderful mortals, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, or simply just a good rest. Now, I shall send you through the portal to realms unknown. Commence the unlimited Omega Reverse Umbral Shining Royal Majestic Incandescent Infernal Draconic Demonic Meteor Hellfire Raid. Farewell.